What's up, historians and fellow dorks? This week, Wizards of the Coast announced an Explorer anthology. So we thought it'd be fun to take a look at the difference between Pioneer's metagame and our current Explorer meta to see what cards are needed to power up Explorer to Pioneer's level. Also, we'll do a little drunken memoirs on our MTG history, all on this week's Where We're Going and Where We've Been episode of Mana Rant. But first, I'm Hoshi, an active member of the Sliver Humane Society, making sure unwanted slivers find good homes. And you are listening to the Mana Rant podcast, where, like always, I'm joined by the MMO big swinging dick of the cast and obvious writer of his own intro, Drunken Dork.
What is up, everyone? You know, honestly, I feel attacked by my two co-hosts because I play the most besides Magic the Gathering Arena, you know, obviously, I play the most amazing game that ever existed in the history of games. And they can't, you know, they have no fucking culture whatsoever. They wouldn't know a good anything if it slapped them in the face. I'm surprised that they found Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm pretty sure it's because of me. Actually, I know it is. I know it is. And anyway, that's why I wrote that. You know, my feelings are hurt. I just want to lift myself up a little bit.
Is it because I referred to that game as the alchemy of MMOs? Is that what it was?
It is. Yeah, that is exactly why. Yeah, okay. It hurt a little inside.
That makes sense.
I spend like 10 hours of my day, every day of my life, playing that game.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. I don't.
and finally, we have the big beer brain himself, grand champion of the horseshit card game, and another obvious writer of his own intro, Michael Apollo.
What is up, everyone? Yeah, you know, winning 3 games, it goes to my head. You know, I've won them all, apparently.
Clearly.
So, Alec, Baldwin heads and MMOs aside, the clear winner of the MMOs is Final Fantasy 14, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Weebs are nothing, bro. But, yeah. What's up, everyone?
My girlfriend was listening to the podcast, and when she said you had a fat Alec Baldwin head, she was like, what the fuck is an Alec Baldwin head?
All right, for those that are listening and tuning in, if you don't know, again, I have to explain this. So Alec Baldwin has a fat head, and you might be wondering, well, why is that? It's just genetics? No, it's because he drinks so much fucking beer, your head gets inflamed. So
is that what happened to Wethoff? Is that?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I didn't have a regular bottle as a baby, so my head has just been huge my whole life because my mom fed me beer. Yeah.
That makes sense. Anyways, welcome back to the show. Anyways, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Us 3 idiots here are the Mana Dorks, and you're watching the Mana Rant podcast, where we go over everything Magic Arena, basically, and Pioneer in this case, in this week. And our show moves through the segments of Magic, with the main phases being the main topics that we're going to be going over. And we got some fun spice with all the other phases in between there. We'll put all of the phases down in the description below if you want to hop around and stuff. And with that, let's just hop straight into our first phase, which is the untap. And untap is the first phase of our show, where we untap some drinks that we're going to be, sipping on, enjoying, possibly getting hammered on during this show. So let's start off with Drunken, since you've really gone debaucherous in the last couple of shows. Let's see, what are you untapping tonight?
Yeah. So actually, next podcast I won't be on because I am going to be in Spain.
No.
So I am getting, yeah, I know, right?
So fancy.
A well-deserved vacation, man. Like all this fucking podcasting and video game playing I do, I need it.
It's rough. It's a rough life.
And anyway, so I'm getting my palette ready, and I have sangria today, and this is mostly sparkling water, just looking really red.
Show them the vessel that you're drinking this out of. That's what I got to. There we go. He'll probably down that entire thing during this show.
Not probably. It's gonna happen.
I want you to drink the rest of the pitcher for discard.
On the end step, I'm gonna just be going like that.
Just pouring it down yourself. Yeah. Oh god. All right.
It'll be magnificent.
Paulo, what are you untapping?
So later in the episode, we're gonna go into some bios as requested by one of our listeners. So I thought it'd be fun to get something based on where I used to live in Massachusetts. So I got Sam Adams, right?
Sam Adams.
It's funny. It's like the Wicked series.
What
so it's
is
a
this?
Fucking Wicked double. You know, because they say Wicked out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fucking Wicked strong kid.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Wicked double IPA here.
That's a Wicked car you got there.
Yeah, Wicked fucking car. You get your fucking Dunkin' kid. So you smoke your fucking parliaments.
Yeah,
nice
so sneakers you got there.
Fucking yeah. So
nice.
Sorry for all of our Massachusetts fans. I used to live there, so I can make fun of it, right? But yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight. It's a double IPA.
Nice, dude. That's cool. This is my first day that I'm eating in a week, basically. I was on a weight loss challenge at work, which I won, by the way. I lost 25 pounds, but
Nice.
I'm coming off like a 7 day fast. So today's the first day I've been eating. So I'm sticking to seltzers today so that I don't like shit face plant into my keyboard by the end of the episode, you know. So taking it a little easy today. Yeah. So nothing too exciting. Just some Shore Break seltzer, which I don't know if you noticed, seltzers have gotten expensive. So this is like whatever was on sale. So.
You know, in pre-production, when you were saying you're drinking seltzer, I thought you were actually just drinking seltzer water, not like seltzer alcohol.
Oh, no. Yeah. These are
in my head, like when you're like, I'm just going to drink seltzer, you know, keep it easy. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, what a fucking bitch. Like,
why would I just drink seltzer water?
Although I think in the podcast history, the only person to have not drunk in the, you know, is you. Yeah.
It is.
So,
That is true.
Yeah, I'm training for the Air Force because I have to be in peak physical
I had to lose a lot of weight, dude.
Well, that is true. You did need to do that.
Yeah. Facts.
All right, well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers,
To
everyone.
a good show. And cheers, everyone out there as well. And with that, let's move into our upkeep. Upkeep, get ya upkeep. And upkeep is our Reddit rant, where we look to the internet for people bitching, complaining, ranting about Magic the Gathering. And this week, we are going to... we're going back to Facebook. Good old Facebook. Facebook always has some of the best rants. Like Reddit, they just get taken down too fast. But, you know, in the cesspool that is Facebook, they just, you know, they stay there, they thrive, and I absolutely love it. So we are looking at the Magic the Gathering MTG group this week. And we got David this week. I'm not even going to try and say his last name because, let's be honest, you know I'm going to fuck it up. So I'm not even going to try. So, David, this week, what has he got to say? He says, now before I say anything, this is a vent. Not whining, just annoyed. But, Jesus fucking Christ, people, I can't stand playing against decks that just sit there diddling themselves for like 10 minutes before winning. Like, bravo, you bored me to victory. No, I'm not going to sit here for 15 minutes watching you filter through 90% of your deck while you just keep pumping mana and playing with your exile pile until you ultimately find the right combination of cards to swing for lethal Z's.
That was intense. Yeah,
what do you think, Drunken? What do you think? This is your kind of game style of diddling.
All right, like I said
yourself.
before in pre-production, you're the one that plays life gain over here, and that is the diddliest diddle deck that there is in historic.
In historic, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this deck
That's
is.
funny.
First of all,
I don't know what he's playing. Yeah, it's
yeah.
probably
Do you,
some jank.
Apollo?
No, he's just annoyed against, I'm assuming, a combo deck.
Is this like an alchemy or standard thing maybe that they do? Because I don't play those formats, so I wouldn't know what they are. Anyway, yeah, I do get this person because God forbid when I have to play against squirrels,
God.
life gain,
type
of bullshit. I'm like, oh my God. Like when I think I mentioned this like an episode or two ago, like where people look at the same card when they're scrying like 5 fucking times. They're like, wait, do I want to?
Maybe. Wait, now that I think about it, actually.
Yeah. Even though it's the 5th time I've seen this fucking card. You know? So I get this, man. David Buchholz, I get it.
Yeah. Apollo, what do you think? Do you think he's being grumpy whiners?
Man, do you want a fucking tissue? Because you are crying.
Oh, man.
Give me the tears.
Because you're also a life gain player.
Apollo disagrees.
Yeah, I mean, he says he's like, I'm not whining, I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, you are annoyed and you are whining and it's venting. Yeah.
It's a little bit of
but, I don't know. He says, like, he answers his own question, like, right at the end, until you ultimately find the right combination of cards to swing for lethal. Yeah, that's called combo. That's what combo does. They have to find the right combination of cards to win. So, I don't know. I mean, that's the game. Combo exists, and that's how combo operates. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's fucking dirtily as fuck until they get it. But
that's why the concede button exists also. So if you know they're gonna actually find their combo, just concede. That's what I do. It just happened to me yesterday. I was playing against a Boros Citadel deck. And I had the dude down to 1, I was like, oh, I got him. And then he just started jerking himself off for a while, and then he got his life up and he got all the pieces down. I was like, okay, he's got it, this is going to be like easily, 5 more minutes until he kills me, but I'm not going to sit in for that, dude. I'm done.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You won, I'm going to check out.
Like, Dexter baiting aside, like, if you're on Arena, you're obviously trying to get some quick games in. And, if that's your course of action, just concede. Get out of there. If you actually have the answer and you're actually trying to win games, then unfortunately you're going to have to sit through it.
That sucks.
And make sure that you win.
I've definitely been there with squirrels where I was like, I have the board wipe, you make as many squirrels as you want, dude. You're dead. Like, I'm blowing up your whole board next turn. But, dude's like, I'm going to make like 30 fucking squirrels. And you're like, God damn it.
Then time out and lose because I'm going to win. I'm not conceding.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to sit here for 10 minutes while you just be like, oh, scry. And of course, they always have that, like, the moon dancer chick that scries every time they make one too, and you're like,
yeah, that's the one that I dislike the most. That one
is the worst. To like ban it, Wizards. Please ban
not to like rant about it too much, even though we're called like the Mana Rant podcast. But something that you guys talked about last week about the fast play option. That's something I really wish they had in this client, because in playing in paper, you can announce like you're doing combo. Like
you're like,
it's like, okay, so wait, hold on, what are you doing? Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to pretty much do this. And unless you have an answer, it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I concede. Let's go to game 2. So like they need to have that in Arena. I don't know how they can do it, but they need to have it.
One of the things about paper that I will say that's great about Arena is I've played against people that play crazy combos like this, and they just know their deck really well. So they're just fucking doing stuff real quick. And I'm like, hey man, I don't know what you're doing, And they're like, oh, I'm just doing this and this and this and this. And like, I played against this one dude, and his friend was like, just so you know, he like cheated like 3 times, like in that last game that he was playing because like you can't keep up with like what he's doing. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So the next game I was like, all right, dude, no, slut every single thing. And it was just as slow as Arena, if not worse, because I kept having to check the guy to be like, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? That was super annoying. So I found that way more annoying actually than Arena. So
that
at least
sucks because you're like actually in front of the person.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking piece of shit. You try to fucking cheat.
I know, right? But I mean, paper, cheating is way prevalent in paper.
There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought like no one ever brings that up. That's I guess one of the upsides of Arena is unless you're a hacker, it's a lot harder to cheat. And actually Arena. So some of the comments were pretty funny on this guy too. They're like, hey, you just said you're not whining. Sounds like fucking whining to me. It was pretty good. It was pretty good in there. But anyways, that was our Reddit rant. That's if you guys find anything out there that you think's pretty funny, send it our way. We're all the mana ranters, so we like hearing people bitch on the internet. Maybe we're the only ones. I don't know. I like it.
I think people like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think people like to bitch back at them. But all right, with that, let's move into our draw phase.
Let's draw.
All right, so draw is where we go over MTG news, hosted by possibly the worst MMO player on the planet, Big-Headed Dragon Dork.
You're just mad because I said big swinging dick. I don't even know what I wrote. I don't even know what I put in there. I was just writing some real quick. What is up, everyone? This is MTG News. This is our weekly delayed news part of the podcast where I read you some shit that has already been announced. So there's an article here from MTG Arena, State of the Game, Alchemy Horizons, Baldur Gate from July 6th. There's a whole bunch of garbage in here about Alchemy Horizons that I'm not going to read.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking set sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's just really bad.
Not a huge fan, no.
But then I'm going to go to this. The rising tide of MTG Arena. When MTG Arena first came online, it supported only one main constructed format, and that's Standard. Fast forward a few years, and we still had only two, Standard and Historic. But in the past year, we've doubled the number of our main constructed formats: Standard, Historic, Alchemy, and Explorer. As Magic players ourselves, it feels great to expand our offerings, including unique Magic experiences that only exist on MTG Arena, and bring a different and valuable layer of depth to the game. Indeed, one of the Magic's greatest strengths is there are many ways to play with many kinds of players, whether you are a veteran or fresh face, whether you started on tabletop or online, and whatever your favorite format, we are glad to have you as part of Magic. So this is basically them, I think, saying like, we're sorry that we made such a bad set, but we appreciate you. Of course, this growth also brings new needs. All our designated main formats are important, and we want to assure players there will be content coming to MTG Arena for each of them. Here are some of the things you'll be seeing later this year, and this is the exciting part. So first, it's Alchemy Horizons. We don't care. And then next is later this summer, we will be releasing two new anthologies. Explorer Anthology 1 will contain 20 Explorer legal cards from iconic powerhouses to offbeat favorites. Okay. And then Historic Anthology 6 will contain 20 cards, legal, very important, only in Historic, bringing new possibilities to our broadest and most powerful format. And then I'm not going to read the other stuff. I think that's really what I was getting to. And I think what Wizards was expressing here was like, we're sorry we made a set that wasn't so exciting for most of the players, but we are bringing you other stuff for your formats that you hold near and dear to your hearts. So let's tackle this first one. Explorer Anthology 1 will contain 20 Explorer legal cards from iconic powerhouses to offbeat favorites. Apollo, what do you think about this? Like, how are you absorbing this? Like, what are your thoughts?
So my initial thought is this is like how they're going to try to make Explorer closer to Pioneer. Whether it's like a good tactic or like a cheap tactic, that's left to be said. That's like very opinionated. But it is a way, I think, that they're trying to make Explorer closer to Pioneer. The quickest way to do that, bring in a lot of staples. Bringing out sets every single time is just going to be a really slow process. It'll be great for people who love sealed and draft and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily get us there. They know what is the meta. What better way to make the meta happen and get everything up to par than bring in cards. So the fact that it's an anthology, I like it. I like that they're trying to expand on this anthology idea as opposed to just historic. So making it Explorer, I'm excited for it. It's going to be cool. I'm excited what they're going to see, like what they're going to bring in. But I believe this is the tactic. Like, I think this is why they're doing this, to like try to catch up to Pioneer as quick as possible and not delay it any longer. Hoshi, what about you?
I like that point that you made there. That's pretty good. I don't like it though. I wish they just kept going with the remastered sets. They just kind of stopped at Amonkhet, right? They were just done after that, and we haven't seen anything. And I feel like this is kind of like, oh shit, we need to, we need to kind of get back to where Pioneer is, but we're not actually going to bring all the cool stuff that we could actually add to the Pioneer set. We're just going to we'll give you whatever the rares are that you need, right? Or we'll give you some rares to make some powerful decks that you can have in Pioneer. And I want all the other cards because I like, making weird jank stuff. And I feel like just playing with powerful decks is not the most exciting thing to me. I like getting to play with all the cards in a set, and then new cards will come out with a new set, which will make new Pioneer card. I don't know. I want all the cards. I want all the Pioneer cards. So I feel like this is a lazy way of doing that.
It is.
Yeah, it for sure is. But it will. If they're bringing all the powerful Pioneer cards in, it's going to change the meta. Absolutely, it's gonna rock it for sure. So that part's exciting, I think. What about you, Drunken? What do you think?
Yeah. So I actually disagree with you guys. I think. In some senses, I agree with you in others. So Explorer Anthology, I think, is a good idea because pre-production, Apollo and I were talking, and I think Apollo said, and I agree with this completely, is that this is a good way to change up the meta as it is. And like when Historic came out with the anthologies, the meta was never affected as much as when a Historic anthology came out, except for the Historic Horizons. That would be the Jumpstart decks, but like regular sets coming out never really affected it. Even when they were reaching back into the Pioneer back catalog, that never really affected Historic too much. But these where you get 20 huge playable cards. And the interesting thing they say here is 20 Explorer legal cards from iconic powerhouses to offbeat favorites. So this is actually kind of going into what you wanted, Hoshi, because you're like, I don't want, like having a bunch of powerful cards is cool, but I also want like some random stuff. And that's basically what they're saying, is they're going to give you some other like offbeat favorites that you can do some jank with,
Hopefully. And, we'll see.
I think it's inevitable. And like every anthology has been like that. They give you some cool stuff and then they give you some crazy stuff. And like, before they gave us the one with Cascade, right? Which seemed crazy on surface because, we're all fucking idiots and we didn't see the pure potential there. Yeah. And then, it came out and it was just a fucking powerhouse. But like, I think there might be stuff like that. Like, I forget what the ability was, but there's one in Return to Ravnica where you like cast an instant and then you implant it on a creature. And then every time the creature attacks, the instant goes off again. Like it was like a really fucking cool. It's like that
wand. It's like the wand or whatever that could do that.
Kind of like that, but it was an instant that goes onto a creature after you cast it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I forget what the ability is. Someone probably knows. But I think like things like that are going to be really good. And I think like having like rather than just getting one set and like going back one set where it won't really affect Explorer this much. I think this will, and like doing it this way where we can get like actual meaningful cards is a good thing.
I think
Agreed.
so. My worry about is that if they're going to do this, if they're going to do the Explorer Anthology, are they going to just not do the remasters at all? And then,
I mean,
they probably will as like a draft set, but
that's what I think.
Okay.
yeah.
So
like I think they are eventually going to keep going backwards, but like right now people have been asking for Pioneer, and if we know anything about Wizards, they care about everything but historic.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to get, like, their main goal is to get Pioneer into Arena, because they know other than Standard, people play Pioneer. The quickest way to make that happen is to do this. Whether it's correct, like you were kind of leaning on to, that's left up to be said. Like, that's opinionated, but is it lazy? Yes, but it is a way to make Pioneer happen. But I think going back, then they're going to make those like remastered sets as draft sets, because people love draft, and they know people love draft and sealed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're going to look at Pioneer in the next set to see like how many things are missing. But hey, guess what? It's more than 20 cards. It is way more than 20 cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so this is my fear right here about this is if they give us this Pioneer remastered or whatever the anthology that they're going to give us, and they give us a lot of powerful cards, that's going to make, how are they going to handle doing the remasters if they do those, right? Like, are we going to get doubles of those cards that we already got from the anthology, and then we're going to have to crack them again when they do the remasters? Or are they going to leave them out of the remasters? Those remasters are going to be very lackluster now because we're already getting the powerful cards out of them. So are you even going to want to buy those remastered sets, right? Like,
I think
I kind of don't like.
So you said there's
that.
20. There's only 20 cards, right?
Yeah.
So that, and there's like 5 or 6 or more sets that they have to go back to, and that's sets, right? That's not including, like there's 3 or not sets, like blocks, I should say. 5, 6, 7 blocks. There's 3 sets in a block, 20 cards, so that's nothing. Yeah, it's really nothing. And like, that's not going to really affect the drafting format. And like what they did with Amonkhet is they combined all the sets or the entire block into one set. Yeah, and they took out a bunch of the garbage. Yeah. Like we don't have a lot of the cards that were from the Amonkhet sets and or block, I should say.
They took out a lot of the powerful stuff too, like Walking Ballista and
Yeah, they did. You're right. They took out some of the things that that don't exist in Pioneer.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty sure Walking Ballista is banned in Pioneer.
Yeah, probably. Right? I would imagine so.
And so good. Is the fucking copter, the spy copter or whatever.
Yeah. The smuggler's copter.
And so we didn't get that.
Yeah.
And, I think like as a reach forward or back or whatever,
reach around,
I think they're just going to have these much larger draftable pack sets that you can use that are going to be like, that are going to be meaningful, like I don't think they're going to lose their value because 20 fucking cards are missing out of the entire Pioneer format.
Okay, maybe.
And I absolutely don't think this is lazy. I think this is actually an interesting way of just changing the meta, like all in one. Like this will change the meta more than releasing a set. And if they continue to.
Maybe.
Actually,
it will.
That's actually very true, because they can like very much like choose what they want, right? Like, they can pick like Pelucanos, and they can pick Xenagod, and like they can kind of pick which 20, right? Because it is a lot of blocks that they can have to choose from, and 20 from all those blocks is very small, so they can actually make like a pretty unique meta for Pioneer as we go backwards. So that's a good point. Sure. I agree with that.
I have a question for Drunken though. Does it hurt having Watsy's dick down your throat that much right now? Does it hurt?
Ooh.
I mean, I am just, so when I see 20 cards for Explorer, 20 cards for Historic, what I see is 40 cards for Historic. That's what I'm seeing. Because I don't even play play Explorer that much, so I am like more than happy about this. And like them saying that they're going to be staples and like offbeat ones makes me even happier, because that means there's going to be jank for my Historic, and there's going to be some powerhouses for my Historic, cards in Pioneer, powerhouses in Pioneer have potential to be powerhouses in Historic, right?
So my next question is, do we even need to talk about the Historic Anthology? Because I'm pretty sure we're all excited about that, right? Like,
finally, I guess. Like,
is there any? Do any of you guys have any like woes about us finally getting a Historic Anthology? Anything that you're worried about or trepidations?
Just the power level. I'm just very curious. Like I think because they're coming out with both the Explorer and Historic anthologies together. I think that it's going to be like they need to make complete different anthologies, right? To be them to have them viable for people to buy them, right? Like the Historic anthology needs to have like very interesting different cards, like maybe potentially way more powerful cards, because then why am I even going to get it unless like
it's going to be good. It's going to be strong stuff.
Because this Explorer is going to have like, good stuff in it. So.
It could be fun. People will bitch about it no matter what. Like when the Praetors came out, everyone was like, man, this one's kind of stupid or whatever. Like people are always going to complain about it, even though they might come out with some fun, powerful cards, I think. I don't know. I'm excited about the Historic one, the Explorer one. I'm excited about it, even though I'm kind of like, what are you doing with this? Like I'm kind of curious there. But either way, we're getting cool new powerful cards. So I think both of them are exciting for us. And it's not fucking
biggest.
It's not alchemy. That's the best part.
That's the biggest takeaway. It's Historic only. Yeah. Not fucking alchemy. So I'm very happy for that.
Yeah. And that's like what the point of this whole fucking article is. It's like, sorry, we gave you an alchemy set. We're giving you other things though, I promise.
Oh, also that I was bitching to Drunken about this earlier, that the new season pass is it's a alchemy Baldur's Gate one, which is like, what? I'm not buying this season pass. This is a hard no. I usually buy the season pass because I feel like it's a pretty good deal, but this one, no, I'm not doing it as a like, hey, I don't like what you're doing here. You're not getting my money for this. All right. Any other words about news or anything that we got? No. All right, cool.
They're rebalancing a bunch of cards as as the fucking weeks go on with the alchemy bullshit.
Dude, we can't cover that. It's so much nonsense and it's boring as hell I like fall asleep while I start reading them. So all right, cool. I did gameplay this week on some awesome Explorer deck that I made. So that's been fun. Check that out. And with that,
well, hold on. You're not the only one. And Apollo did some too. Come on.
Oh, was that this week too? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Apollo did Gruul, and then you did the one on what was it?
Artisan.
Artisan. Yeah. But, actually, that playing Artisan is what inspired me to make that Explorer deck. So that was a fun format. I really enjoyed that.
I love Artisan.
Yeah, it was great. I had a blast playing that. All right. Well, with that, let's move on to main phase 1.
Main phase 1.
And main phase 1 is where we're going over the Pioneer format. How does it compare to Explorer, and what do we really need to get Explorer on the power level of Pioneer? Is this anthology gonna do it? Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be on the same level yet, but I definitely think it's a push in the right direction.
So what do you think? So let's just take a look at MTG Goldfish's like top meta cards right now, or meta decks for Pioneer. And so the top one that looks like it's being played at 15% of the meta is going to be mono green Karn Ramp. So let's take a look at this deck and see what are we missing in here. I think we talked about this already, about the not Llanowar elves, the other elf, the other exact same elf as Llanowar
Elvish Mystic. Yeah,
Elvish Mystic. Yeah, that'll be great. What set did that come out in? Do you guys know?
That came out in an M set.
Many sets.
It's come out in quite a few. I'm just trying to think of like going backwards to get to Pioneer. What would we need to get this,
I think, I don't think it came in a main block. I think in Pioneer's life, it came out in an M set.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. Sylvan Caradon. That's a great card. That's from the Theros block, the original Theros block.
You butchered that fucking name. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. That's a good card.
Yeah. What? How do you say it then?
Sylvan Caryatid. Yeah, but you said Keratin.
Yeah.
Like there's an N at the end. No, there's no N.
Caryatid. All right, it's a stupid word anyways. Made up. Nonsense. Fake news. All right. So let's move on. See what else we got. Voracious Hydra, we got that. Old Growth Troll, yeah. And then, Apollo, you mentioned this one. Pelucranos. Only one Pelucranos in there. I remember this card as being like insanely powerful when I played Standard when it came out. Now it looks kind of cute almost. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of strong, you know. like I'm like, yeah, 5/5 for 4. That's okay, you know. I mean, we have like, you know, the thing from Eldritch, or not Eldritch, the 3
Eldraine.
Yeah, Eldraine, the 3-drop guy that's a 5/5. So there's just the power level's gone insane now. And then Cavalier Thorns, great.
Right. Oh shit, you're doing a terrible job of reading this deck. So
I'm not gonna read every single card. I'm just trying to see which ones like we haven't done. So it's looking like Nykthos is what we're missing.
Yes.
We're missing Pelucranos, and then we're missing Sylvan Caryatid, and then the Elvish Mystics. So,
and we're missing from the sideboard. We're missing Skylasher, which is a really important. It's a really important sideboard card that they use throughout a lot of decks.
That's true.
And Explorer because it has protection from blue and it can't be countered.
Yep.
Yeah, and Flash. It's an incredibly good card.
It is.
And that's really it. Yeah, you named them all.
Yeah. And that's a sideboard only card too. So who knows if it would see like best of one play, which is one of the other interesting things is that, you know, Explorer does have best of one. So it'll have a different meta a little bit than what the Pioneer meta looks like, because Pioneer is, you know, exclusively best of 3. All right, what deck do you guys want to look at next?
I mean, well, what do you think of this deck? Let's talk about it real quick. Okay. This mono green ramp thing. Like, do you think going forward that this is going to be like a viable thing come soon? Like, is this viable now without the cards, like in Explorer? What do you think?
I think it's like fast approaching already. This is something people are really getting close to. And I think
I agree.
Like some of the key pieces that we definitely need and something we could see from the anthologies. I think the most important 2 cards would be Nykthos and Elvish Mystic. I think those 2 cards right there are already going to make this really damn close to the Pioneer version. Everything that we have in Explorer is pretty close to par. So, you know, obviously you can very easily say, well, we need all the cards that aren't in here, but this is about how we can port it. And 2 cards that we can expect to see that can definitely put this over the top is definitely Nykthos.
If you don't know one, which was Oath of Nissa. We don't have that.
Yeah,
either.
The Oaths. But I think those 2 are probably the most powerful cards. I
agree.
That would change up the format for Explorer.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nykthos actually being more than
by
more
far
than even
yeah.
Elvish Mystic would like power this deck through, you know.
Yeah, considering they're running 4 of them, and I did not know that 4 of those are worth $160.
Oh yeah,
so,
it's a super expensive
I need to go find
days.
those that I have a bunch of.
Yeah,
give me some money. All right, yeah, it looks like strong deck. It looks like we're pretty close to it. All right, you guys just want to look at the next one with Rakdos Midrange?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So Rakdos Midrange is one that I was looking at beforehand, and man, does it seem like it's pretty close to what we already have. So Blood Tithe, Croxa, Tenacious, Underdog, Bone Crusher, the Graveyard Trespasser. This one we do not have, which is, oh man, Trader of Get. And I don't know how to say his name. Kalitilitz or whatever. Kalitas. There we go. Yeah, so it's a vampire warrior with lifelink, and it looks like they're from the Eldraine set, maybe, or Eldritch Moon. I don't know.
It's Oath of...
not Eldraine, yeah.
I forget what it's called. Oath of something.
Okay. It's from one of the Eldrazi set, I think. But yeah. So that's one out of the creatures. Chandra, we have Fatal Push. We have Thoughtseize. Dreadbore. We do not have Dreadbore. Okay.
Not yet.
No, Dreadbore is incredibly powerful, I think. Destroy target creature or planeswalker for 2 mana. I mean, it's 2 specific mana. It's Rakdos mana, but still, that is a very strong card. Let's see. Then Cut Ribbons, we got that. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Man, that card is everywhere. And that is it. So 2 cards. We were missing 2 cards. Let's look at the sideboard.
Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, which is a really important card in this deck.
That is true. There's out of the lands, we don't have Urborg. Yeah. And then where's the Tomb of Yawgmoth? Where's that at?
That is
Urborg.
Oh, it is Urborg.
Yeah.
Okay, that is good. Yeah, it makes everything a swamp. It makes everybody's land a swamp, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks pretty fucking close to what we are potentially doing right now. Like, I mean, we have Kalitas and Urborg. That's 3 cards out of the 60. This deck basically can already exist. And I think
it does. Yeah.
The clear-cut difference between, it does and it doesn't. Like the black-red you see in Explorer looks like a little, like quite a bit different than this. You know, it's more like sacrificey type of shit. And like, I think the main reason is just the meta because of like the different cards they have. And like, that's one thing I've noticed throughout all the decks is like, there are similarities in decks that we currently have, but like, because the meta is completely different, like things like this exist right now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one I looked at beforehand, and this one is the exact fucking same, basically besides 1 card that we have, and this is Azorius Control. So it's got Wander, Teferi, all of your counter spells and removals that you are very familiar with, and then there is 1 card that is literally different in this deck, and that is Supreme Verdict, which is, I would make the argument, is the best board wipe to exist in the game. What do you guys think?
Paulo.
Yes, it is because of the can't be countered. Normally I would side with like the Wraths, but because like regenerate isn't really a thing. I'm gonna have to go with Supreme Verdict. It's so good. But another card I want to point out that's not in this deck that we will be getting, and I think it's more powerful, I think it's more crucial, is Sphinx's Revelation.
We have
it already.
We have Sphinx Rev.
We do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. It came out in an anthology set, did it?
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Yeah, we have Sphinx
Rev. It came out in Amonkhet. They like released
Right.
Sphinx's Revelation and fucking Thoughtseize in Amonkhet.
All right, so dumb aside, so Supreme Verdict, forget what I said.
I don't even see Sphinx Revs. Is that in this?
It's not in here,
No, it's not in this one.
I mean, other decks run it. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay,
it looks like Control.
Yeah, and then our format, they swapped out Supreme Verdict for Depopulate or whatever that just came out in the last set, which is a 4-mana board wipe. So, yeah, pretty much the exact same thing that we have, and that is the 3rd most popular deck in Pioneer, and it already exists basically in in our format, Explorer, and now we're gonna look at another one, Mono Blue Spirits, which is basically the same as the Mono Blue Spirits that we have in -1 card, which is the Mausoleum Wanderer. So do you guys think that this card is going to make a big difference if we get this to Spirits? No? Paul?
No. I think so.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's good. I don't think, like I said before, I think it's just the meta is completely different.
It's true.
So that's why this deck exists in a higher ranking than it does. Like the deck's not bad in Explorer. It's just like it doesn't match well right now in the current meta, if that makes sense.
It feels pretty strong. I've seen it a lot actually, and I've lost to it a fair amount of times. If it's tempo, it's blue tempo basically.
Yeah.
It's just they got the spirit flair to it this time, but it's the same thing. It's got Curious Obsession. It's got counter spells. It's just the medium now as they got a little bit stronger creatures with the synergy of spirits. And the Mausoleum Wanderer is a pretty good one. It gets +1/+1 until the end of turn whenever another spirit enters the battlefield. And you can sacrifice it to counter a instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, which is its power. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Being able to counter control, from doing something, except for Supreme Verdict, clearly, which can't be countered. So yeah, I don't think this is very different at all from our current iteration of the Spirits deck that we're seeing. That's a good card, but I don't think it's going to be mind blowing. All right, now this deck is quite different than the. Do you guys run into Phoenix and Explore at all? I don't.
Yes.
It's very rare. I feel like I do.
You play the ladder?
Yeah, I do play the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I don't run into it that often. In Historic, absolutely, you run into this deck all the time. But in Explorer, not that much. And I think that one of the first cards that I don't know.
Apollo, that was the ugliest face I think I've ever seen you make. What was wrong with what you just drank? If you guys are listening and you're not watching,
well, I got the deck. Let me see. What was that?
No, it's because Hoshi had the fucking screen up, right? Like the Windows screen. So I felt confident in drinking the rest of my beer.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And it was like the ass end of it.
Oh, yeah. That was terrifying. That's going to live in my fucking nightmares, man. That face.
As it should. As it should.
All right. Sorry. Keep going.
Oh, no worries.
Fucking dick.
All right. The first card that I think that is insane that we don't have in this Phoenix deck is Thing in the Ice, which
it's a good card.
I think it's by far the most powerful in this deck. This card is nuts. It's a 0/4 wall for 2 with 4 ice counters on it. But then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, they go away. Once you get rid of all of them, it turns into a 7/8. And when it transforms into that, it returns all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand, which is basically all creatures, right? Like, who the hell is running horrors? Except for this thing, right? It's a horror, so it doesn't return itself. So this card is absolutely nuts. I think it's like the most, besides Arc-like Phoenix, which has not gone away since it came out. That card is ridiculous. Let's see, what else are we missing that this doesn't have? I think it's some of the crazier ones. Oh, Is It Charm? We don't have that. That's a pretty good one. Strategic playing. We have pieces. What is it? Pieces of the Puzzle. I've never seen this card before. Looking at this deck, are you guys familiar?
I believe it's from library. Like Innistrad.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great. Not compared to the next 2 cards, which are Treasure Cruise. Which, holy shit, when we get Delve like that, that's going to be a huge game changer, I think, in the format. Delve is just a well-known format that is, or archetype, I guess you can call it, that's super powerful in a deck like this, which is Treasure Clears is 7 and a blue for draw 3 cards, but you can Delve, which means you can exile cards from your graveyard to like reduce the casting cost of this. And then we have another one that is absolutely insane, which is Temporal Trespass, which is 8. It's an 11 mana cost card, right? It also has Delve, but it's take an extra turn after this one. Exile Temporal Trespass. So it's another Delve card, which lets you take extra turns. And everyone loves extra turns when your opponent takes those, right? Those are very popular cards.
So I mean, I think the big takeaway from this is Treasure Cruise and Thing in the Ice. I think those are going to be the 2 big hitters. Once we get Delve, once we get fucking Treasure Cruise, the game is going to change. Absolutely, the game is going to change, because it was fucking powerful when it was in Standard. It's proven to be powerful in every single format that uses it. Mm-hmm. I believe at some point Treasure Cruise was banned.
It was banned for sure. Yeah.
It is insane. I mean, there's a lot of cards that utilize Delve, but specifically for Pioneer, Treasure Cruise that's the one all beat all, you know what I mean? So I think extra turns is it's kind of cute. But it's not going to make or break the deck at all. But definitely Treasure Cruise and Thing in the Ice, because right now in Explorer, we can do the things. We are putting things in our graveyards. We are casting instants and sorceries. We are going to get these things that are going to happen. We are going to draw 3. We are going to get this crazy horror. And, you know, GG, all your things go back to your hand.
Explorer, we have Faithless Looting, which is just like, that card is so good in a deck. Like
in Historic, you mean?
Yeah, in Historic, yeah. In Historic. In Explorer, I don't think, yeah.
Treasure Cruise, like, it banned in Standard because when it was in Standard, we had fetch lands. It's banned in Modern because they have fetch lands. It's banned in every other set past Modern because they have fetch lands and and other crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
You know, Treasure Cruise is a good card in Pioneer, but it's not like as meta defining as it was in Standard, as it was in Modern or any of those other things. So I think like it entering the format is going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I don't think it's going to be like this incredible thing. Like, you know, we looked at 5 decks, Treasure Cruise is in one of them, and blue, and 3 of the decks ran blue, right? So that has to tell you something.
That's true.
Because we don't have fetch lands, we don't have things like constantly going into our graveyard, right? Like the reason it works in this deck is because we have a whole shit ton of 1 mana cantrip style spells, right? Or like deal damage spells. And that's why temporal trespass is in here, because like you wouldn't see this in many formats, but because we have so many cantrips and because Pioneer is like a little bit slower of like an older format, you're able to throw things like a little spicier like that in here, which I fucking love, dude. I think this is amazing. Like I absolutely want to use Temporal Trespass when it eventually comes in the format. But over anything, I think Thing in the Ice is just the bomb here. Like this card is so good. I use it before in Modern, and I use it in Standard a little bit. It wasn't that great in Standard, but I can't wait to use this in Pioneer and Historic. I think this deck overall looks incredible. I think out of all the decks that we looked at, I think this one looks like the most.
It's winning tournaments.
Solid.
Yeah, it's winning tournaments right now. Now this one is probably the one that I think I'm most excited about out of these decks that we're pretty close to getting. We are basically missing 2 cards, I think, out of this one, and this is Boros Aggro, because you guys know I love Boros. And
so you're just pulling up a whole extra deck because you want to read some Boros.
Like, you know what? It said Boros.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna read 5 decks, but wait, I just saw Boros, so we'll do a 6th one too.
I did look at this one. I do love Boros, and this was right the next one. This was 6. So favorite Hoplite is one that we don't have yet, and then he's a 1-drop with heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets favorite Hoplite, put a +1/+1 counter on him, and then prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. So that's pretty good. And then this one is like one of the big bombs I think that if we get will really change up the format, which is Monastery Swift Spear. This thing is crazy.
It's insane.
1-drop,
format defining,
1/2 haste with prowess. So this is going to be big sauce for Boros aggro and for red aggro, which I think these 2 are going to be crazy when we get those. Basically every other card in here that we have we already have in our format and is already used in the current like Boros aggro deck. But those 2 alone are just make this deck like insanely faster than the one that we have, because that deck is really missing the 1-drops. And that's, they're the main cards of this deck. There's 4 of each of those. So that was it. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick because I'm excited about getting those cards. I think that'll be crazy.
Good for you, Hoshi.
Okay, well, thank you.
I mean, jokes aside, I am glad that you brought it up because not because of Boros, but because of Monastery Swift Spear.
Yeah, it's a good card.
That card is so fucking good.
Yeah,
it is.
And once it enters, Mono Red is going to get even more
Historic is going to be fucked, dude. Hoshi will officially stop playing Historic because Mono Red will be murdering him.
He's gonna send emails to fucking WotC every day, like fuck you.
I'm gonna be on their forum board. Yeah, it's the Eidolon of the Great Revels too is also a holy shit. That's gonna be
that is
that's gonna be an
card.
awful card when that comes in too.
Good, so good.
All right. So overall, how close do you think we are to Explorer then, or to Pioneer with Explorer?
Follow.
We're pretty damn close, y'all. We're getting there. And again, to just bring it up again, like Drunken said, I think the reason why they're doing this anthology is to get it that much closer. We're getting very close. I'd say we're about maybe 80% of the way there, maybe even 78% of the way there. We're close. There's obviously some key cards, as we discussed, but it's not much. Is it going to be, is Explorer the way that Pioneer is right now? No. As Drunken has stated as well, the meta is very different. But, those few key cards, I think like that's very important, because those few key cards proves how much a format can change when they're added in, right? And once they're added in, the meta will change. So that's something I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I think the thing is that the big takeaway from this is like, okay, so when you look at, you look at the Pioneer and you look at the Explorer decks, and we see in these Pioneer decks, we're like, oh, we're only missing like 2 cards, like in each deck pretty much. It just goes to show how powerful the sets were for a while, because a lot of the cards are like Eldraine and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Where like these are just incredibly powerful sets that were pushed super hard. And that's where these decks kind of exist. Even when you go into Historic, a lot of the cards are like Eldraine, we do, obviously we have a much deeper card pool that we're reaching in for those that we use, but still, like, I'm sure the most used set in Historic and Pioneer or Explorer is probably Eldraine, and like that little brief time, like with the fucking mutate creatures, that set, like all those sets, right?
Ikoria or whatever.
Pushed. Yeah.
So
almost there though.
My big takeaway is that, they probably could get us at least with those top decks to around where Pioneer is. I don't know if that would be a good thing to do for the format, is just make like 5 decks very like solid at the top, and then basically crush all hopes of anything else being useful. So I'm curious about what they're going to do with the anthology, because I think if they just release those cards for those decks, that's it. Format diversity dead. Like it's going to be those decks at the top, and then probably nothing else.
So like a good thing that like I think of too is, we're obviously not going to talk about every fucking deck that exists in Pioneer. And we're sorry that we didn't mention the deck that you might play in Paper and Pioneer. But a good takeaway is that Wizards might actually take from the bottom meta and add those cards in. So we can also see decks and archetypes rise up before we get the eventual... the eventual fucking maybe Parthenon, that I guess you can say.
That would be cool if they did something like that.
Yeah, let's get some gods, man. That's what I want to see. Like the original gods.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Like I want to see some fucking Teamer tempo. Like I love Teamer tempo. I want to see like some kind of like zoo deck or something. Yeah. Like I don't know. There's a lot they can do. So
some more Eldrazi's or something. Just some crazy stuff. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, Timmy's dropped the ball on the bagel orders. I don't know. Maybe he'll drop the ball again on this fucking anthology. We
never know. We don't even know when the hell this stuff is coming out, right? It could be next year, for fuck's sake.
End of the summer, whatever
they say.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you ready to move into combat?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to win, bro.
Oh, man. It's too late. And Combat is our horseshit card game, hosted by Drunken Dork.
What is up, everyone? This is the horseshit card game, and this week, just like every other week, I'm changing it up. I got something absolutely, completely different. I didn't even make a screen for this one, so maybe I'll be cheating, who knows?
Very likely.
Yeah, probably. So I'm going to do it completely different. This week, what you two have to do is you got to work together, all right? We're doing a little two-headed giant here.
Oh, no, I don't like this. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
in like the over 20 years, I've never worked with fucking Hoshi. This is...
Well, that's... unfortunate for you guys because I actually think you're going to get this.
We'll see.
What you're going to have to do is we're going to run through the classic 20 questions, all yes or no. I picked a card that is in the top 50 in historic, and it's up to you guys to guess that card in 20 questions.
20
And it's
questions.
the number one top card.
No, it's not. It's in the top 50.
In the top
Oh, in the top 50.
Yeah. So it's a card you definitely heard of. So like, just I'm helping you. Have you ever played 20 questions? You know how this works? Like,
You just ask a question like, is it a creature card?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, start it off. Is that your first question?
What card type is it?
It's yes or no.
Damn it. Is it a creature card?
You already failed.
Do you know how to play 20 questions? Yes. What card is it?
And Hoshi, yes.
It's a creature card. Okay.
Yes.
Apollo, you go next.
Is it red?
Yes.
Okay. Is
All
it
right, Hoshi. All right, Hoshi. I'm already feeling like it's Burning Tree. Should we try to like narrow it down?
Is it multicolored?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it green?
No.
Dang. All right.
Is it blue?
Burning Tree's out.
Yes.
What'd you say? Did you say
I
blue?
said blue, so it's blue and red. Is it more than 2 colors?
No.
Okay.
A 2-colored red and blue?
Is it a dragon?
Yes.
Oh,
Is it?
Wait.
do you not have the card?
Hoshi, do you think it's
Yeah,
like
I
the
do.
sprite? Do you think it's the
I think
sprite dragon,
the
Hoshi?
The sprite dragon? Yeah.
I wait, hold on. I do have the card.
Okay.
Is that what you're leaning with?
Maybe, or the drake.
No.
It's not a
It's
dragon.
not.
Is it?
No.
Is it a drake?
Yes.
Okay. It's got to be the 04 drake. What the hell is that thing's name?
Sprite.
Huh? The one that draws you a card. Does it draw you a card when it enters the battlefield?
Yes.
Okay. It's gotta be that card. It's gotta be that card. What the fuck is its name though?
Wait. Are you talking about Crackling Drake?
Yes, that's it. Is it Crackling Drake?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you both win today. So I thought this would be too easy because it's like really easy to eliminate things with that game, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to magic cards. So if I do this again, I think. Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations. You guys got it.
Oh, thank you.
But if I do
yeah.
it again, I think I'm going to do 10 questions. You got it in 10 questions.
Oh, we did?
And I think,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think, and you had it before then. You know, you guys had that at like 7,
Yeah.
I think. So
Okay.
I think next time if I do it again, I'll do it in 10. What'd you think? Fun? No?
That was
Do it
fun,
again?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that
I
was
like
fun. Yeah.
All right.
Not being able to see it and just having to guess. That was cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good
I dig
at always keeping it fresh with the card game Drunken. Yeah, I have never said anything that you've done has been impressive, and I mean I still continue to say that, but you're getting close.
Okay. Thank you. Wow, that's a big compliment coming from you. Jeez.
How'd you guys do? Did you were you guessing along with us with that one? Did you see it coming that it was Crackling Drake? That was fun, the discovery there. Well, let us know if you like the guessing game, or if you want to go back to the other one. So let's move into main phase 2.
Main phase 2.
And main phase 2 is going to be our drunken memoirs. This has been a request that we've gotten a few times. We did this back in the past where we kind of gave our MTG history because people were curious, because we've run a podcast. It's obvious, like, hey, what the hell do you guys know about Magic? Are you guys just three dipshits that are, talking on the internet, or do you actually have any history with Magic, or are you guys tournament players? Do. Yeah, so
we were.
Yeah, so it's varying, between us. I mean, yes to all of those questions. We are dipshits who have a podcast, but so we thought we would just explore that again, just whenever it was a slow news week, and it just so happens that that's what's going on right now. So we thought we'd start off with Apollo, and he would talk about where he became his beginning with MTG, really. So take it away, Paul.
So I just want to alliterate too that we've done Drunken Dork and Hoshi in the past.
It's true.
And we're not going to link those because I think going forward, as we get new subs, we get new fans in the Discord, we can touch on those again. Yeah. But the synopsis, I guess, of my life as a Magic player is going to include you two as well. Mm-hmm. But for those listening, and if you can't tell by my ugly, disgusting face, I was born in the 80s. And so with Magic, I was there since the beginning. So in the in the early 80s or early 90s, we used to go to garage sales a lot. I don't know if you guys ever did that. Oh yeah, but it was a good way to get Nintendo games, and Lord of the Rings kind of lore, books and stuff, or little things. But Magic was something that me and my brother got because we liked Lord of the Rings. There was a 1970s cartoon, and
I remember.
It was filmed in rotoscope, and we both loved the art. The art was so cool. It was just something very Lord of the Rings, very fantasy-esque. And there was some stuff that was very dark and gothic and obviously very creature-esque, things of the like. So we got a bunch of cards from a garage sale, and me and my brother would play. I have no idea how we knew decks had to be 60 cards. Maybe we had an intro pamphlet or something.
They had that little booklet.
Yeah. I don't know how, but we knew that you needed to do that and play only one land per turn, but we were playing completely incorrectly.
Oh yeah.
Instance, mana, everything was completely wrong. It was mostly whoever was more frustrated, and it'd be well, I'm gonna do something really cool. It's no, you're not. I'm gonna fucking sacrifice or whatever, just do dumb shit. So we played completely fucking wrong and a bunch of misplays. But after my early childhood, I didn't really play too much. Oh, but I do want to say my very first constructed deck was always Gruul. I actually still have that deck to this day. It's still constructed. It's still packed away, kept as it was when I was a little kid. So that's something I'm very proud of because I'm still loving Gruul today. But I stopped playing until high school. So I knew these two fuckers when I was in high school, but we didn't play Magic when I was a freshman, sophomore. Or at least all three of us didn't know we played Magic back then. So I moved to Massachusetts for my junior and senior year. And then I got back into Magic with a neighbor, a neighbor in the neighborhood or whatever. And somehow in passing, we talked about Magic, and me and my brother were oh, we have some fucking Magic cards. And so we started playing again. And again, playing completely incorrectly, mostly just debating on how you want to play and how you want things to resolve. So obviously, my love was always there, but then I don't know how it came up, but all three of us, right? We were all friends in high school. I moved back to California, so it was after I graduated. So it was late teens, early 20s. We started talking about Magic, and then all three of us were kind of yeah, I know that game. And it's like, yeah, I know that game too. And then it kind of like comes to find out that we all actually, like all three of us, like really love this game. So we started playing again, and I guess for like privacy purposes, I won't mention the fourth person, but there was a fourth person that we used to play with, and this guy is an absolute fucking psychopath. Like lunatic, this guy is like he is a fucking crazy person. And it sucked because like I really love this game, but it kind of caused me to like quit the game again because I remember Hoshi and this guy, we'll call him Tom.
That sounds good.
You guys would have the most angriest games.
Fucking
like
Tom.
the most insane anger of games.
He would make up the craziest rules for Magic, because this was before like it was easy to look stuff up on the internet about Magic, like rules and stuff, you know. So he just like he would read a card, and that card would do whatever he wanted that card to do, you know. And there was like almost no convincing him otherwise. You're like, that's not what it sounds like it does at all, and be like, that's what it does, you know. And you're like,
he would interpret it like his own way. And that was during the time when the bringers of the whatever Dawn was out. So that's when like I started buying packs again. I wasn't like too big into the packs because I didn't want to like invest too much money into it. But I do remember Hoshi and I played a two-headed giant game with Tom and his girlfriend.
Oh my God. Yes.
And I remember that was like one of my most like memorable games before I quit playing Magic again.
Best game ever.
Yeah. So I remember I didn't even have my deck with me. And Hoshi had his deck. He had a bird deck. And he was like, fuck, you don't have your Gruul deck? And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, well, you can like use my bird deck. So it was like a Flyers, like evasion type deck. And I was like, sure, whatever, you know? And I remember fucking... This guy fucking spent like hours constructing. He had thousands of fucking cards.
His house looked insane. It looked like like there was just like little buildings of Magic cards everywhere. There were just piles like all over this like tiny apartment that him and his girlfriend lived in. You walked in, you were like, what the hell? It like just everywhere. Just like little cities of Magic cards.
I'm sure he has so many valuable cards.
Oh, absolutely.
He still has them.
Absolutely. Yeah. He spent an insane amount of money on those cards. And he spent
during some very crucial sets too.
Engineering those decks. Yeah. He had some wizard deck that like tapped everything that you did. You know, he would just tap down everything. And I think his girlfriend was running just like a big beaters deck. It was like a big Timmy Monsters deck, you know? And then I was running a 5-color, like nonsense, weird, like off combo deck that had a bunch of weird shit in it. And I was not getting the sauce during that game. You were basically keeping
I was
alive.
like having all the defenders to like defend us and stuff. And I mean, I remember it took hours for him to even fucking make the decks because he was so determined to fucking win. And we're like, whatever, dude, whenever you're ready, I guess. And so, you know, we played the game, and it was the most ridiculous game, but the most satisfying game because like how nonchalant you and I were. Yeah. And then when you pulled off the combo, you're like, Apollo, I fucking got it. And you showed me your hand, and then you're like...
because it was a Beacon of Immortality combo. So I had Beacon of Immortality in my hand, and I was waiting for a specific card. And so I had it, and I was looking at you, and I was like, dude, I'm going to double your life because I'm about to die, and I have nothing, you know? So like, at least you'll get to live. And then the next card, I drew it, and it was... what was it called? Tainted something or other, where it was like, if you gain life... you lose, if you gain 1 life, you lose twice that much life or whatever. And I was like, oh, I got it. And the combo was you double the person's life, and then you cast that other instant on top of it. So if they, you know, on the stack, so if they were to gain a life, they would lose 2 lives. So it perfectly doubles their life, and then they die because they lose twice that much life.
I remember like what you said. You're like, so I'm gonna double your life.
I was like, Tom.
And then he was like,
Tom, I double your life. And he was like, No. Yeah. He spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how he could avoid the death too. He was like, wait. And he's just like shuffling all of his cards around. I was like, unless you got to count.
He asked for like a second game and you and I are both like, nope, we're fucking done.
Yeah. After I killed him, you just crushed his wife too with like with monsters.
Yeah.
You just annihilated her.
I was just like full fucking swinging in, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really good. That was back in our early 20s. So very early 2000s. And I took a break again and just didn't play Magic again. Unfortunately, even though that was like a funny story or whatever, it was very toxic to play because of this guy.
Yeah.
And it made me not really like Magic because of it. But later on, in like late 2000s, I think like 2010s or so, we got back into it again during right after Innistrad like just rotated out, and it was Return to Ravnica and Theros block. And that's when Drunken and I like heavily got like into MTG.
I was gone. I was in the Navy and deployed and stuff at that time, I think,
too. Like you were still involved, but you were definitely not like as heavy into it because of that.
I wanted to play, but I was like, I have to go out to sea.
And I mean, I remember like Drunken and I, we would buy like everything. Like we'd buy all the boxes. We'd buy everything we needed. Like I remember at some point, so we used to go to a lot of, not like we're trying to become pros or anything, but we were pretty competitive in the tournaments and stuff like that, all the opens. So I remember at some point we had like every deck that was in standard, like between us. So we would like make like the gauntlet, right? And then go through the gauntlet through testing. Like Drunken would be like, I think I'm going to run, you know, this mono red deck I built, and it'd be like, all right, cool. So I'd make like the Gruul monsters, you know, that utilize Pelucranos and stuff like that, and Xenagod, and we just go through the gauntlet. We would just like test and fucking just drink beers. And I remember that was like a lot of fucking fun.
Hell yeah, it was. Yeah, it was super fun.
But like doing those tournaments is actually what got us into, or at least me, into EDH, because I won like a local tournament at our game store in Long Beach in California.
I remember that.
Yeah. And the winning prize was a pre-con of Commander, and it was my Aloro. And
awesome.
Aloro was my very first deck.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you know, we had like, you know, like my girlfriend at the time. It was like a great way to like introduce people to playing something that was like very casual. It was very unique. I like the idea of Commander, that you can like kind of like pick your own flavor and pick cards throughout Magic's history. So it's like, it can be cheaper, right? Quote unquote, because Commander is also like very expensive.
Yeah.
But you're not like stuck playing like standard or modern, and it's 1v1. It's like a multiplayer format. So, but yeah, so I was playing Commander. I started like to not like standard at all, and playing more modern and getting into Legacy and following like the more eternal formats. Because, you know, standard sucks. And and then eventually, like, even before COVID, I just kind of just stopped playing modern, really. I would play on Moto, but Commander was really what it was at for me. And until, I mean, I know Drunken made the joke before, but he was the one that got me into Arena. Because I think that's something all three of us like kind of like expressed, like, man, if fucking Wizards would just make a client like to where you can play and it doesn't look like Windows 98 or Windows 95, like like, you know, Moto.
Yeah, Moto's terrible.
It's really bad. I once, sorry, I'm gonna derail this really quick. I once was at an event, and I met a guy who worked for Wizards of the Coast. Like, it's actually really common when you go and play out in Seattle, right? Yeah. Because that's where it exists here. You know, that's where fucking Wizards of the Coast is. Yeah. And so I met this guy at an event. He's like, oh, I work for Wizards of the Coast. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. What do you do? He's like, oh, I'm on I work for the Moto side of it. I was like, oh. Oh.
Like, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude, Moto is like, you know, fucking, it's an engineering feat at the time. It's fucking old, right?
Yeah.
Like that game is the way they got into it is like you'd send in your paper cards and they'd give you Moto cards. That's how it worked, you know, like you could actually do that. And it came out in like early 2000s. So, you know, and it never changed from there. And it's just like, dude, that thing is, I don't know, man. It's a fucking dinosaur of software.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, like back in the day, like that was just how I kind of had to play and practice modern, you know, aside from constantly going to a game store to play randoms. And I guess I'll bring this up too. The game store that we played at in Long Beach, all three of us frequent there like really often. It was really good, but there was like some key people there that were like really fucking cringe as well. I remember this one guy, he irked Hoshi like quite a bit. I mean, he was like really just a rude fucking Magic player. Yeah. And that's what sucks, right? Like anything that you're into, you're going to have like all walks of life. People who are just fucking dicks and assholes. And I remember this guy was just like, he used aggression tactics to make you feel like uncomfortable, and it didn't matter like how new you were. He didn't give a fuck. Like he just treated you like shit, you know, like he'd make fun of you for plays you would play. Like, that's a dumb play. And it's like, all right, dude, well, I mean, I'm just fucking learning the game, man. I mean, I don't fucking know, dude. You know, with you, I remember every time he played against you, he like allowed it every single time. Yeah, even if he didn't have like open mana,
he'd shuffle his cards around. He'd be like shuffle them, and I'd be like, I play this, and he'd be like, wait. Yeah, and like for like 10 minutes, and then he'd be like, okay, I'll allow it. And I'd be like, oh, thank you. You allow me to play my card? Well, thank you, Grandmaster of all Magic. You know, he's such a dick. Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna be a dick back to this guy. Fuck this guy. He's awful. I
remember like I never knew what planeswalkers were when we got back in at that time.
Oh yeah,
they didn't exist.
They were confusing. Yeah, at first.
And I was really confused. I was like, I don't understand. Like, it's not a creature. It's not an enchantment. Like, what the fuck is it then? And he's like, you can't do that. You know? How do you not fucking know? And it's like, dude, I don't know. They didn't exist. When you're a fucking twinkle in your father's eyeballs, and you know, like this didn't exist when I fucking played, dude. Like,
planeswalkers are a hard thing to explain to new players. I feel like too. You know?
Yeah.
You like get the concepts down. You're like, okay, there's creatures, there's spells. Okay, and now there's also a person card. Like, what? There's a player card, all right? Just go with it, all right?
Yeah. But I mean, because it turned me into the Magic player I am today, because I do love the game. It is like my absolute favorite game of all time. I know we talk a lot of shit about Wizards.
Yes.
But they did create something good.
Deserve shit about them.
They do. They do, but they did create a good game.
Absolutely.
And I just want that game to always be great. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think like about this little bio thing? Anything else you guys want to add on?
I think we're going long and we should wrap this shit up.
Yeah, that's good.
I think so.
It's good. So I guess next time we'll do either mine or Drunken's, I guess, and because we both have done ours before, but we should probably redo it. It's been so long, but that was fun. It's always good taking a little tour back into the past, and I wonder what you guys think about this. If you guys have stuck around, if any of you stuck around, is this something you guys want to hear more of or not? Like, you know, our history with MTG, because we've got quite a bit. Obviously, we do a fucking podcast about it.
Tons of stories.
We're fans, I guess, you know, of the game. So with that, let's move into our end step. And end step is our comments, questions, and concerns section, where this is like kind of our mailbox portion, we have a channel in our Discord called Comments, Questions, and Concerns, and we don't read it except for on the podcast. And so one of us is going to read it at this time, and it's going to be all of our first times hearing whatever you guys put in there. So is it Apollo? Are you taking it?
Yeah, Apollo.
Okay,
yeah.
Apollo. Take it away. What's in the mailbox this week?
So I guess like maybe we should just call it Comments, Questions, and Concerns, because you and I both keep saying it, and it's called Comments, Questions, and Corrections.
Okay, yeah.
But I know.
Concerns, corrections,
thing.
same thing. Yeah, whatever.
But whatever. Let's just get into it. So I'm not going to read everything because I feel like some things are like a little bit personal. Okay. And I don't want to put like our viewers, our fans, like on the blast, I guess. But sure. I'll say some key things. So last week we talked about Drunken and his little fucking motorized little guy there, and how he ate shit. And,
Oh yeah.
And he has like long lasting injuries.
And he pulled his groin.
Yeah. I did it again, by the way, everyone. I ate shit again like a couple days ago, and it is my side is like, it looks like I just have a massive love handle on one side.
Dude, Drunken, you are not 18 anymore. You're an old man.
No, I'm not.
You're an old man. You're going to kill yourself. You need to knock that shit off.
So, Jacavio, longtime fucking supporter of the channel. And he was like, I felt so identified with Drunken's karting accident. I don't even know where to start. He talks about how he twisted his ankle. And a lot of people in Discord talk about like how their injuries, right? Like, and it's so true though, like because when you get older, your fucking injuries just linger. But he also says, "P.S. Shamans are disgusting," and that's in reference to my gameplay video I made of grill shamans.
It's true,
and they are disgusting. So Jacavia, thanks for chiming in. We have FTF Wrestler. He talks about how he sprained his ankle a couple years back. Jacavio again. He mentions. He's like, I didn't comment directly last episode, but since the topic was discussed again on this one, I'm 100% with Hoshi. Burn is a disgrace.
Yes.
To every format.
Yes. Finally.
So I guess you two are together on this one.
Finally. Jacavio. I knew I always liked you. I knew you were a smart guy, You
guys can go jerk each other off, all right? Like, have fun.
Smart guy. Excellent taste on him,
Jacavia, you went down a point or two.
Not for me, buddy.
Again, it's just like a lot more like discussion on like injuries. And I just want to say, for all you kids out there, fucking enjoy your bodies while you got them, man.
Absolutely. If you're younger than 30,
downhill.
Fucking go throw yourself off a bicycle, right? You'll be all right.
You'll be
bounce
good.
back.
You'll be good by tomorrow.
I carried a couch this weekend, and I needed to like lay down and like use a massager on my back.
Yeah,
everything is. It's still not the same. It's still bad.
Yeah, it's like you fucking stub your toe, and it's like, oh man, I gotta call in. I can't work. I'm injured. So this is like kind of funny too, because he's like kind of pointed out some of this, and I can't find it in Discord, but CY who has pointed out that me and Drunken call him Sai or Kai.
Sai Kai.
He's like,
his name has become a meme, right?
His name became a meme. He's like, you just say CY, but he's like, but don't say Kai. So I thought that was funny. But he says, so WotC has been using each opponent to replace target opponent to make arena faster. See the blood artist change.
That's right.
This was something. Yeah. This was something that was like, I initially like lost my fucking mind because I was like, what?
Yeah. I kind of like it.
But again, CY like corrects himself. It's changed the target player to target opponent instead of all opponents. Because initially, I think in the Discord it said all opponents, and that's when I like lost my fucking mind. But yeah. So I said, where is that comment? I said, I was like, so I was going to say if it was each opponent, I'd be fucking pissed. And then Jacavio's like, why? Mostly because of Drunken and his multiplayer conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not happening, Drunken. It's not.
That's
it will exactly eventually.
Why. I want to point something very important out here for the 5th fucking 10th time.
God.
Apollo.
Here we go.
We read these the day of the cast. You don't go in, you don't chime in. We read it. This is all a shocker the day of the cast.
Well, the reason why was I got a notification and I just immediately clicked it and I was like, oh, whoops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you know what's stupid is like I had that sense of dread, like your mother found out you fucking were out like late and I was like, oh, fucking Mama Wedhoff or fucking Mama Drunken Dork is gonna he's gonna scold me on this one.
Yeah, damn right I am.
He did. Yeah, you deserve
and
it.
I did. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hang your head in shame. God damn it.
Later, Hoshi's gonna give you a spanking.
That's true.
No, Hoshi's just gonna be like, nah, it's fine. No.
He's gonna shoot you with this fucking 22 animal
caliber fucking
pellet rifle,
shot rock.
It's just a BB
rifle.
gun. It's just a harmless little BB gun. All right.
Yeah, whatever. That's all we got for comments, questions, corrections, consoins, whatever
that was a good one.
However we're calling it.
Yeah. Down with red. All right, cool.
To all you old people, I am sorry. Injuries suck.
We have an injury-prone crowd. That makes sense. We are a bunch of old fucks.
And we're dumb, so I imagine if anyone is going to listen to us, they're probably kind of dumb too. Sorry, everyone. But
oh my God. I mean, if they're your fan, then yes. All right, so let's move on to the cleanup plays.
Your grammar is so good.
It's great. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm getting so more better all the time. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Words are great.
Anyways, so this is our cleanup phase where we just talk about the ways that you can, check out the stuff that we do. We have a YouTube channel where we put on this podcast. We're also doing gameplays. Again, we've gotten 3 in the last week, which is like pretty crazy for us. Yeah, because we haven't been doing it for a while, but they are fun, and I think I'm enjoying them a lot more than I used to. So we'll probably continue to do those. So check those out. We are also on all of the podcast things out there. So if you want to check us out that way, and then we have an Aether hub as well, which I need to add my deck onto there for the video. If you want to, see any of the decks that we're talking about, and also our Discord that we talk about a lot because it's awesome, and we do all the stuff in there. We put decks in there. We talk about the stuff. Our comments, questions, concerns file is in there, and you can email us too. Correction, whatever. And we'll have an email too. If you don't want to do that, if you just want to email us directly, you can do that. That will also be in the description below. And with that, looks like we're on to the last phase, which is our end step. Or discard. Sorry.
Discard phase. Drink them up, boys.
One of those.
How many drinks have you drunk?
Enough.
Dude, those seltzers, man, they're fucking hitting you, bro.
I told you, I haven't eaten all week, so I had to be very careful with how much I drank today. You're lucky that I'm still sitting in this chair right now. I'm not on the floor, so anyways, that's it. Last goodbyes, guys. Anything you say?
See y'all in 2 episodes.
In 2 episodes, yeah. Drunken or Apollo.
Stay tuned. We got a gameplay coming out. It's really dumb.
And with that, guys, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you right back here on Manaran. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. See this full fucking beer? Jesus.
You can do it. I'm like chugging this with a straw. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. I'm sucking harder than I've ever sucked before, and I can suck pretty hard sometimes.
I win.
That is quite a feet.
Yeah, I see your suck is as good as mine.
You better be careful, Drunken. I don't want you to pull your groin again.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. It doesn't matter. I can look left and I'll pull my groin, man. Like, that shit is just like permanently pulled these days. It sucks.
You old fuck. You're gonna need a walker, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a fucking walker and a cane, and your wife's gonna have to fucking help you take a shit.
I was hoping she would at some